You're not gonna have Andre in the first half on Saturday, and Coach Chiz just said Aiden Bonilla is going to get the start. What has he been doing that gives you guys the confidence that he's a guy that can handle that role in the first half?
He's super consistent and he's reliable. You know, when Andre got ejected late in the game and they were in a 2-minute situation and things were getting tight there the other night, I had no doubt, no concern when Aiden went in that he was going to be able to go in, execute, do his job, and he did. I mean, he made a big play down there in the red zone. On the third down play that led to forcing the field goal. He's just been really reliable and dependent since we've gotten here, and I feel like he's the guy to turn to in this situation.
He doesn't. The number of reps he gets in a game has been rather inconsistent. A lot of it's been on a need basis.
Sure.
How difficult is it for a guy to kind of be on that kind of trajectory where he's playing a lot one game and not much another game, and it's based out of need? How hard is that for a guy to mentally handle something like that?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with your practice habits. Aiden prepares himself like he's a starter every day, and that's really what our whole second group does. They prepare themselves like they're one play away from being in the game, because you never know when that's going to happen. And I give them credit for always having that focus, but that's a big part of what we do. They got to be prepared for when their time is called, because you don't know when that's going to happen, and you don't know if that's going to happen. But when it does, you got to take advantage of it, and Aiden certainly did that the other night.
I know one of the adjustments that Andre had to make was constantly, calling everything out there, and Aiden, I guess, had to do that some the other day. How has that been for him?
Good,
especially since he hasn't. Coach Chiz said he hadn't played much in the middle,
right?
So that, I think, would probably be as big of an adjustment as anything else for him.
No question. Yeah, and by nature, he's not a real loud, outgoing person. But when he gets in there, he knows that's part of his job, and he forces himself to be loud and take command and control. And there's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve that goes along with it. I don't expect it to be totally seamless in every aspect, but I do think he's going to be able to go in there and, as the game goes on, have confidence and feel better about making all the calls, and that's what this practice week's all about. And I think by the time we get to Saturday, he'll be ready to roll.
You guys were in base a lot the other day, and they only had one run of more than 10 yards. I know the front line has been getting better and better,
yes.
But what does that say about your group as well? Because catastrophic runs, they got to go through you guys.
No question. I think just our consistency and our execution has been so much better over the last couple weeks. Our run fits, have clearly been better, and I start with the credit for the D-line. I think they're doing a great job squeezing blocks up front, restricting run lanes, and the fits from the second level and from the third level with the secondary have been good.
From my vantage point, it looks like they've been more physical too. There was some. Kaysen had a couple of big hits. Cole had a couple of really big hits. That's when you're actually in perfect position, is when you can make those bigger hits. Correct?
No question. And I think we talked about in the very beginning of the year how we had an inexperienced group, and I think the one thing that you are seeing with them now that we're about the midway mark of the season is just confidence. That it's one thing to get a lot of practice reps, and it's one thing to get the spring ball reps, but to be out there on Saturdays in front of 80,000 people or whatever the case may be, that's different. And it took 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think, for some guys to feel confident in what they were doing, and now that they starting to feel that confidence, we're playing better.
Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.